Welcome to Google for Real Estate. I'm Derek Bixler, real estate agent, outdoor adventure sportsman, volunteer firefighter, and Google marketing geek. Let's get into it. We'll start with some Ask Me Anything and wins. I'll start with a couple wins that I've had in the last one. Actually just happened 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, maybe now, like 10 minutes before the room was starting. I got an LSA call, local services ads call. At first I thought it was not a good call, and it's still not like the best maybe, but it is a rental call for, I just looked it up, pulled it up. It's 336,000 is the RPR estimated value, which is the median price range in this area in general, maybe a little bit higher over where that is, but still a decent price range house, and he has a tenant in there and then wants to rent it out once that tenant leaves again. So a listing for a house rental, I'll do that. That's fine. I don't want to, I'm not going to tenant rep somebody looking for a 1-bedroom apartment or something. But a listing that I could actually get paid at least a couple grand on or something isn't bad. So I'll call that a win, a rental listing. And plus I think he's out of the area. I was kind of rushing to get off the phone with him so I could get prepared for this, but I think he's out of the area. So potential, people like that usually they're going to sell at some point and just list the rental. So that should be, and those are usually easy. Rentals around here go like wildfire, and I would guess, I didn't run comps, but that's going to be at least 2,000, maybe 25 or 3,000 where that is, because that school district, can't talk about school districts, but it's there. Anyhow, okay, so that's a win. Rental listing call. 8 reviews from a mass email I sent Friday, I think, last week sometime. So I'm always harping on my clients to mass ask. If you haven't mass asked for reviews in a while, you should, at least once a year. Everybody, you're not being annoying to ask once a year, maybe twice a year, maybe once a quarter. More than once a quarter, I feel like is too much. For certain things, maybe you could do it more. And obviously you're asking for reviews during deals or after deals or of friends and specifically with people. But if you don't mass ask every once in a while, you got to start doing that. So I'm always hounding my clients to be mass asking, or not all the time, but if you haven't ever, for sure, right now, mass ask, and then put it in your schedule to do it again in another 6 months or a year or a quarter or whatever you feel comfortable with. So mass asking, took a dose of my own medicine, and I do it on social media sometimes. Once a quarter I try to do. I think I'm due right now. On Facebook, I'll just put, if you like me, click this link, hook me up with a couple reviews. I write something better than that usually, but or maybe that would work even better than trying to think of something complicated. But anyway, I write something, and usually I've gotten, I think like 14 was the most I got from one of those posts, down to like 1. But I don't think I've ever not gotten anything out of it. And then emails you can also send out to your entire list or certain client lists or whatever. I would just do it to blanket everybody. Hey, again, if you like me and want to help me or had a good service or whatever you want to write, ask your friend Gemini or ChatGPT. Notice how I said Gemini before ChatGPT there. Ask one of your friends to nicely write it and send it out to everybody. And you're going to get something from somebody. Somebody out there likes you. And will do it. And even if it's 1 or 2 or maybe 10 or 12, it's just like real estate. You're sending mailers, you're doing social media, you're doing networking events, you're doing all these things, and you get a deal here, a deal here, a deal here, 2 deals here, a deal from this, and all of a sudden it all kind of stacks up. So you want to be doing this mass asking. I took a dose of my own medicine and sent out a mass email to all my marketing clients for a review on my marketing, my search bomb Google business profile. And up to now, I counted 8 this morning, which again, doesn't seem like a ton, especially I think the list is like a little bit over 500, which isn't a huge list, but they are all, everybody on my list, they're not like free guide opt-ins or people like that don't really know me. Those are mostly like truer fans and people from these rooms and people that know me pretty well, and my open rate is pretty good. So, but still 8 from 510 or whatever my list is at. Doesn't seem like that many, but again, I'll take it. 8 is more than I expected. If I get 1 or 2 from it, great. And then I'll maybe post on social media also for that profile, maybe get another couple. And now I already have 8. I can get 10, 15 reviews just in a couple days from doing that mass asking, and then do it again in another year or 6 months or whatever. So that was a win for me. Just got 8 on my marketing Google business profile. And I have noticed I don't put a lot of effort, frankly, into my marketing Google business profile. I do on my real estate Google business profile, but not my marketing one. But I have noticed that I do get reviews organically more on there, and I'm just asking for them. But I'm noticing the more reviews I get, I'm starting to get a little bit more calls locally, which makes sense. Now I'm starting to actually rank kind of with that profile. I'm getting reviews. And now when people search near me, people in Carlisle, and it's usually people in Carlisle or near me that call me, that's how I know it's from my Google business profile, or they say I found you on Google or whatever. But I'm starting to get those kind of organic calls when somebody looks up Google Ads or Google My Business agency or something like that, or even just digital marketing agency or that kind of thing. So do that mass asking. Definitely worth it, especially if you've never done it. You're not going to be annoying people, and even if you do annoy a couple people, that's okay. You need to be doing it, and you can structure it in a way that it's not that annoying. And then the last win I had is local services ad, another local services ad lead for a listing, and these people were moving to Toronto, and they chose me for. They researched me for sure. They called me on LSA, so I don't know. They must have found me in some list, maybe the LSA list or my Google business profile, then researched me because they said they looked at my Instagram and my Facebook and my website and all my stuff. They cited that they liked that I set my pronouns on Instagram. So that was interesting to me, and I think that's actually what made them call me. I mean, he cited that and kind of said that was the reason. But what stuck out to me even more than that is just that they were looking in all the places. They were looking on Instagram and on Facebook, and they didn't just pull it up and call. So like I've been saying, you got to look like the bomb everywhere. And if you go to my Instagram, it's not a lot of real estate stuff on there. Mostly marketing stuff or kid stuff or firefighting or something. There's not a lot on there, so it's not like I'm going crazy on my content there, but it is set up correctly. You can tell it is me. My website, it does say I'm a real estate agent. My phone number is there. It's very easy to contact me if you want to. Everything's set up properly. My Facebook, my business page is all real estate, so that would represent the real estate side of me good. My personal Facebook would be the same as the Instagram and all the other stuff. So you want to be looking good on the different places. This is an instance where they didn't just call willy-nilly. They looked at, and they must have looked at other people's stuff too, to compare to, because they probably didn't just look me up and the first person they looked up made sense to them. I doubt that. So they probably looked up a few people and took the time to do all that. And their house is actually in the same place as that rental listing, which is a great area. That would be a listing for sale. And like I said, they're moving to somewhere north of Toronto. So hopefully I get to pass that listing on. So those are my wins. A rental listing, local services ads call right before this room started, 8 reviews from a mass email asking for reviews, and a listing local services ads call with people moving to, they said a couple hours from Toronto. So I got to find which direction and where, and then figure out which pretty sure one of our Clubhouse friends will work there, or somebody will know somebody or something. So I'm grateful to know that too, and be able to get a referral out of it because of this beautiful network we have here on Clubhouse. So those are my wins. Before I go into other stuff, and let me take a sip of my coffee, does anybody have any, ask me anything, wins, issues, anything, Google Business Profile, local services ads, otherwise digital marketing? And I need to mod a few of you up too. Go ahead if you have something.
Hey, good morning, Derek. This is Linda in Cypress, Texas. And I was on a podcast the other day, and they were talking about Notebook LM, and it sounded very interesting. And I wondered if you had availed yourself of using Notebook LM.
You must have been reading my mind this morning. It's as if we planned this. I just added it here. I got an email this morning. I played around with it before, but not much because you had to pay. When it first came out, you had to pay for Gemini to be able to use it, like Gemini Plus or whatever it's called. And it didn't work good because I did pay for it and tried it, and it didn't really work the way that they said it would work, and you couldn't upload a lot of stuff, whatever. So I kind of didn't do it, and then they came out that it's kind of free to everybody now. What was the regular paid version is kind of free to everybody now, but now I just noticed this morning, and this is why I put it on the notes for this morning to talk about. If you have Google Workspace, I got an email that says discover premium features. I thought I knew all the premium features, but I clicked it anyway to see what it was going to tell me. And it just says your apps, and then it's got a bunch of icons of all the apps that you can use that you pay for as a workspace user, and one of them is Notebook LM. None of the other, there's Gemini app, which is just kind of like ChatGPT or whatever, but none of the other icons are anything AI related. So it seems you still have to, if you wanted the upgraded Google AI stuff, probably have to pay for it. Other than it looks as if Notebook LM, again, is free for everybody, I believe. But my Workspace account, I'm seeing I get Notebook LM Plus. What's the difference? I don't know. Maybe just more information you're able to upload, or unlimited podcast generation like they do or something. But when I click over to that, it's Notebook LM Plus, create your first notebook, blah, blah, blah. And the three main ways that they have on here that you would use it is gain new understandings about any document, convert complex material into easy to understand formats like audio overviews, FAQs, or briefing docs. That's basically what everybody's usually talking about, and what got the wows at, when they had the presentation at Google Marketing Live last year and all the stuff. Or maybe it was at the AI, the developer conference, whatever. You basically can upload a bunch of docs. You might even be able to, what does it say here? Create a notebook. I guess I will not go through the whole feature. It's letting me upload PDF, text, markdown. I don't know what a markdown file is. Or an audio file, example MP3. So you could upload podcasts if you had a podcast, and a PDF. So any text base, I don't know if it does not say image files. So I'm guessing if the PDF has images in it, it would not be looking at or understanding images or doing anything with it. But audio for sure, and text-based stuff you can upload here, looks like. And then you can click with the magic of one click of a button, pretty much. And it is pretty much one click of a button. It will create basically a podcast episode. All the ones I've heard, and Linda, you can tell me if you've used it. It's usually a man and a woman, and then they talk back and forth, banter, and talk about the subject. You can interject, ask it questions. One of the examples Google played at their presentation was like they uploaded a physics textbook or something, and then said, teach this chapter 5 to my son who's 9 in simple terms, and away it went with the two people and said hello to the son and whatnot, told it its name or his name and everything. And then they also stopped, said, hey, stop, can you explain that last principle using basketball in the metaphor because my son likes basketball. Oh, sure, okay, well, see, when you spin the basketball or when you put backspin or whatever, it went into it. So it basically podcastifies and summarizes and can tell you, and you can interact with it. Any information looks text-based or audio at this point, I would
What I
guess.
liked
Go
about
ahead.
it, Derek, was that, and I have not tried using it, but in the podcast that I was on, they were talking about how this is really your information that you want to dissect or elaborate on, and not something that was going out into the search world and just saying, "Oh, grab me, grab me, grab me." The other thing that they mentioned is that it is using now the latest Gemini 2.5 model, which does have reasoning. And so it's faster. And they were doing a head to head with ChatGPT on something. And it was definitely a faster return. And the other thing that was really interesting was its language capabilities, and I believe it now has like 50 languages, but it keeps your chat in your native language while it goes out and does the interpretation and translation in other languages, and then it comes back to you as well. So it was just kind of interesting. I've not really used it. I just found it was a very interesting conversation that the podcast had in talking about it. And they were doing some live demos while they were doing the podcast with it. So it was interesting. And I wondered if you'd had any, relationship or experience with it.
Yeah, I mean, Google's AI is no joke for sure. They kind of get overlooked or downplayed just because ChatGPT is basically OpenAI. They kind of built the interface that everybody likes or went to or were the first kind of to do it, so everybody's kind of there. But doesn't mean others aren't doing it. And Google's obviously an enormous company and investing enormous amounts of money into it, as are Microsoft and everybody else. But Google is Google, so they be Googling. Yeah, so it always gets better. Like you said, yes, they make a point of telling you that all the stuff you upload does not get out for the learning of the model. That's all within your stuff. And it does look here, you can't upload videos, but you can link to a website. So if there was a website you wanted to base stuff on, even I wonder if you could what if I put my local newspaper that, all my local newspaper websites, but they would have to have premium access to get to it. But assuming like you had free reign to get on those websites and get all the articles and everything, put the news feeds in here, the websites, and then every day you can make a podcast about the local happenings in your area at the click of a button, almost, it would seem like. But yeah, the link, under link, there's website, gives you the opportunity to put a website, and then also YouTube. When you click YouTube, I was like, ooh, you can give it videos if it's on YouTube already. But it says you paste the URL there, but then it says in the notes only the text transcript will be imported at this moment, and only public YouTube videos are supported. That makes sense. So it's not going to watch it and figure out stuff from the images or be able to manipulate anything or do anything, but it will take the transcript, and I guess that would assume it has a transcript. There might be YouTube videos that don't. I don't know. I feel like that's a setting you can turn off if you wanted to. I forget. And then what were I lost where I was. Now I can't get back to that screen it was giving me. Anyhow, yeah, that's NotebookLM. It had the other three. I was going through those three. Oh, there it is. A chat bot. So gain new understandings about any document. That's the podcastifying of your docs or whatever you give it. And then a chatbot grounded in your sources. So upload your documents, just like we talked about with the other thing, and it'll answer detailed questions or surface key insights for you. So kind of the same thing, just the other one is an audio version. This one's kind of a text version of the same thing. And then share your insights, add any key resources to a notebook, and share with your organization to create a group knowledge base. So still kind of the same thing said in a different way, but pretty cool, especially the audio. The audio part's kind of the cool part, and being able to interact with it. I wish, and I haven't played around with it, maybe you can by now. You can't on my phone on Gemini, you can't change the voice like to a man's voice, or some of the other AI things I've tried. There were like 20 different voices, and then you could change the pitch and the timbre or whatever. On Gemini, you cannot. So I'm wondering if that feature will come out at some point, and if that's a feature in NotebookLM either now or maybe will become a feature, because it would be nice. And maybe you can now, I don't know. I've always, like I said, heard the man and the woman. Can it just be a man? Can it just be a woman? Can it be 2 women? Can it be 3 women? Could you have a dog also barking in the background? Could you customize it like that? That would be the bomb. And if you could say, well, play some intro music and like truly create kind of a podcast out of it, that would be sick. And then at some point you could click a button and say, give me the video to go along with this. And it would generate human looking, actual looking video, which Google has killer video generation stuff coming out, already exists. I mean, a lot of the stuff Google does, it's so powerful, and they do a lot of enterprise stuff and doing stuff like on the back end with software companies and with, Hollywood and kind of stuff you don't see a lot of the times. But yeah, thanks for bringing that up. NotebookLM. Anybody else used? All right, no users. Somebody needs to. I guess I could, if I'll remember, maybe I could upload. All mine are on YouTube. All these rooms are on YouTube, kind of as a podcast playlist or whatever on there. I maybe could put those or one of them in and see what it comes up with and what it talks about. Podcastify my podcast. News and random things. Local guiding. I got a cease and desist, or whatever you want to call it, from local guiding, from Google Local Guiding. So my personal Gmail address, that would be me as a local guide, my personal Gmail address. And when you click on your face up there in the corner in your browser, you can click manage your Google account. When you go there, that's not your Google business profile. That is you as a person. Those are the settings of your Gmail address, your email address. And you can put a little if you're using Gmail, so that you have a face when you show up on people's emails. And you can put your name, blah, 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 and you can put a nickname in there. I had as my nickname Dr. Google, and it's been a good year, couple years maybe, that I've had that. So mine said Dr. Google, and then my headshot was a headshot, and then like surrounding it were Google colors, like a circle around it in Google colors, kind of similar to my Clubhouse one. Not exact. There wasn't a Google G because I wasn't that bold, but there were Google colors, which are my brand colors, so get off my back. But anyway, so I had the Google colors in my headshot, and I had Derek Dr. Google Bixler as my name, the nickname Dr. Google. I finally got a change it or we'll kill you or order or whatever. But it gave me 2 days to change it. So I think I got it on the 6th. Yesterday, I think this happened, and then it told me by the 8th I had to change it or else, and I don't think it said what the or else was, or I'd be shut down, I guess, or deactivated or whatever, and I definitely don't want that to happen, and I don't want... They do kind of watch the Gmail or the emails that manage Google business profiles and ad accounts and stuff, and if you were doing like bad stuff on your email address, it could affect your other stuff. I don't think this will, and it wasn't like that crazy or anything, but I'm definitely not messing around. So I immediately changed my picture, and now my nickname is Realtor and Local SEO. Didn't know what else to say there. And it has character limits for the nickname too. I think that's why I had to do what I did. But anyway, cease and desist from local guiding, Google local guiding. And that's only the second time. I think it's the second time I've gotten a stop doing that or change this. I was also got one from NAR before, National Association of Realtors, because I had realtor in my URL 12 years ago, a long time ago. I think it was Central Penn Realtor or Central Pennsylvania Realtor or something like that. It had realtor in the URL. I obviously didn't know and got an order. That didn't take long. That was like a couple months, I think, that they got me, which is fine. I changed it, but anyhow, had to change that. Have access to NotebookLM. We talked about Ask For Me. I noticed this. I think it was on my mobile browser or when I was looking at someone's Google business profile. It might have been something. It was something I had to join a wait list for. But this Ask For Me feature that Google is coming out with is basically how it would work is if you're looking for a salon or a realtor, you find a realtor on Google that you like, and you want to know something from that you want to ask them a question, but you don't want to call them yourself. You can click this button that will be sitting there, Ask For Me. You tell Google what you want to ask the business, and then Google's, I'm assuming, an audible assistant, a voice, will actually call that business, talk to them. Hey, this customer has a couple questions they want to ask you before they meet with you or speak with you. Can you answer a couple questions or whatever it says? Or if it's a salon or making an appointment or something, then obviously it's going to talk about, hey, do you have any appointment times on Thursday at 5 or Wednesday at 3 or anything like that? So there'll be this thing that people can click, Ask For Me, and then I'm guessing, again, they'll call you. I know Google already has assistant AI things that will or can call. This could be also text. They could send you an email. If it was good, it would probably do all of the above. It would call you and then also send you an email or text or whatever services you turn on to get. It would ask the business, and then as the realtor, you would answer and then hopefully hear back from said person. So that's, I don't know how I feel about that. I would rather the person just call me. I don't want an AI because that's a step between. Now I don't get that person's phone number. Now I don't get that person's name. Now I don't get all these things. So it becomes, I don't like the step between, but is what it is. And not saying I would never click it. I would click it if there was something it could answer and I knew it worked and it was going to go get the answer for me without me having to do it, then I would do it for sure. So Ask For Me, but that's a wait list. It's not out yet. Had to join the wait list. And then, let's see, on the Near Memo, which is one of the shows that I religiously watch and listen to, amongst many others, on there, they were talking about the ad tech lawsuit, found, not fund as I typed here, the ad tech lawsuit that I forget who was asking about that a little while ago. That's a separate lawsuit against Google than the search and browser lawsuit, monopoly lawsuit that's been going on. So the ad tech lawsuit, they were found guilty, but the remedies are still to come. So that's as much as I will or can speak on that, frankly. When the remedies come, everybody's going to be talking about it because that's what we really care about. So they were found guilty as far as their ad tech and kind of freezing other people out and keeping data from people, blah, blah, blah. Also gaming, like doing things that they're saying they're not doing or taking people's money and not showing ads, or there's been that kind of stuff too. Again, I don't know all the details of all the things, but it is a separate lawsuit from the search and browser lawsuit, and the remedies are to come probably in a few months. I feel like they said usually takes like 6 months from the guilty for the remedies to come out, I believe. So there's that. Yelp suing Google, which you've heard me say a million times about being a local search monopoly. That's always happening, has happened, will happen again, yada yada. Although Google, when I search for things and I pay attention to this stuff, I see Yelp a lot more in the mix, in the search results, mixed in even with, like if you brand search somebody, there will be a section on the search results page that says like reviews for this person. And obviously there will be Google reviews there, but there will also be like, here's their Yelp reviews, here's their Zillow reviews, here's their Facebook business page reviews. And I feel like Yelp has been inserted a lot more. I just feel like I've been seeing Yelp a lot more on Google. So I don't know if that's purposeful to try to get them to stop or something, but yeah, they're always being sued by Yelp, it seems. And then I'm sure others like TripAdvisor and those kinds of places that are similar to Yelp would be jumping in on that as well. They mentioned that Gen Z, 10% of Gen Z people default to GPT to search. And it's lower for local searches. They don't really use it for local stuff. But Gen Z, 10% of them, which doesn't seem like a huge number, but it is somewhat. That's 1/10. And the more and the younger and the more AI gets into the mix, and they didn't ask other AI. This is just default to Chat GPT. So there might be another 1% going to Perplexity or something, another 1% using Gemini. So the number might be 12% or 15% or whatever. And they said for local search for Gen Z also, after Google Maps, and not ChatGPT, I don't think. The third most used place to look for local stuff specifically was TikTok. So they're still using Google. It sounded like number one because they said after Google and Google Maps, they're one thing, so I don't know how that's two things, but they said that's what they said. And then the third most used was TikTok. So that means I don't even know what Gen Z is. How old are those people? I'm X, Y, Z. Yeah, we're on to like back around to A, B again, aren't we? I don't even know. But anyway, Gen Z, I don't even know what generation my kids are. Gen Z is using TikTok. So if they want a pizza place to go get pizza, a lot of the time they'll just go to TikTok and say pizza place in Carlisle, and whatever videos they get, they'll make their decision on that. Or maybe they then go to Google and reference it and see reviews or something. But I thought that was interesting. Those were interesting statistics about Gen Z. Google recognizes. Google can recognize and does not like artificial intelligence, AI images, AI generated images on websites. So on our websites, we still want to stay with what we've always been saying for good website, good SEO, for what Google wants and what consumers want really too. For conversion is all the pictures, all the content on a website. And I know sometimes this isn't possible with builders, or maybe I don't have the time to go get the pictures for everything and insert them perfectly everywhere and everything. But all the pictures on a website would be original pictures that you've taken, and they all have all the nice metadata on it. So original pictures, Google's not going to find them anywhere else, and they have all the file name and the alt text is all SEO'd correctly, and it's got where it was taken, all the metadata, all the things in it structured properly. And they said that Google can recognize and does not like AI generated images. So if you thought that original images, that means I could go to AI and generate an original image, quote unquote, because if it's like a generated image of me or something that nobody else is going to do, probably not going to exist anywhere else, but it can tell somehow. I don't know how it tells. I'm guessing the AI the image that you get out has some kind of watermark that's not perceptible to the human eye. That's the only way I could see how they could know, because you could crop it and put it in Canva and insert it and change it so all the metadata and file names are gone, but the image would still remain, and maybe it's in there somewhere. I still don't understand that. Or text. How do they know when text comes from an AI or whatever? Anyhow, Google, they say, can recognize it on your website and doesn't like it, just like they don't, probably just similar to how they don't like stock photographs. So keep all the stuff on your website, all the images and videos. If you have videos, keep them original and all that good metadata and named correctly and alt text and all that stuff. Then on the search engine roundtable, they mentioned that AI mode is out of beta, and I can't tell because I've been using it since I went into the beta, and it never said beta on it, so I've been using it. But they said that the AI mode in Google search is now out of beta, and I did kind of see it today in a place I hadn't seen it before, but I think others have mentioned it being there before. So they have regular Google search. Then there, you saw recently they were inserting AI overviews. They do the Googling, Google does the Googling for you, and then summarizes it, kind of like ChatGPT or something else would, at the top above the regular search results. And there would be some links and things to the references or where it got the information that it told you. So there were AI overviews, but now they have a full AI mode, which uses their, like Linda mentioned, their latest and greatest deep thinking model. And you can switch and do your search originally from AI mode. So it's kind of like a chat GPT kind of interface. So you just click, when you go to the search thing, at least on my devices, you go to a regular Google search thing. There's an AI mode button. You click over to it. I have a shortcut to it now on my computer, and you just ask it, and it deep thinks, and it does give you a different answer than the AI overview is. So it's not just a facsimile of whatever the AI overview would have been. It does do more and go in more in depth and give you a different answer sometimes. So before, you kind of had to opt into what they call search labs and do the beta, blah, blah, blah. So it's officially out of beta, they said. So you should have access to it, everybody, without even opting into anything. And again, it's kind of like a ChatGPT type of search. And that's pretty much it. I haven't used it that much. I do like Google's, I love the AI overviews. I use those like crazy. The thing that I noticed today was, and I think it's been out, I just haven't noticed it or whatever, is it had an AI, I asked it something, it had an AI overview, and then at the bottom of the AI overview, there was a very prominent button that said, try or look up in AI deep mode, or whatever the button said, and you just click that, and then it switched over to an answer, a different answer, a more in-depth answer in AI mode. So check out AI mode if you like it, if you want to. And then AI overviews spotted for local. So before, if you asked for a local business, no AI overviews would run. It would just give you local services ads, if there were them for that industry, local services ads, Google business profiles, and then websites for real estate. A lot of times you would see broker websites, maybe agent websites, and then Zillow, Realtor.com, all that kind of stuff. But it did not have an AI overview. AI overviews were more for informational questions. If you asked how something works, or how old is this person, or when can I do this thing, or when should I plant my garden in the spring, and how should I do it? That kind of stuff you get an AI overview for, but for a local search, realtor near me, barber near me, you would not get one. They're saying that now they have been spotted, AI overviews for local. It did not, they say, give businesses. So a lot of times in AI overviews, it will say whatever it says, and there will be little link buttons and maybe even tiles below the summary that says, here's where the information came from, go to the places or whatever. And here they said that they did not link to any businesses. So it gave an overview I didn't read it. It was I was watching it on the go, and it was a tiny little screenshot. But it gave some kind of answer, but did not link out to any of the businesses. And then it just said, and then below they were griping that it said to use sites like Google and Yelp to find a business. So it sounds like it didn't give any links to businesses, but also didn't even mention any businesses. It must have given some really general answer to the local search question and then said, or you can just go to Google, the regular Google business profiles, yada yada, or Yelp to find a business. And there again, you see Yelp being inserted. And again, I don't know if Google's doing that purposely or if they've always I feel like they haven't always included Yelp so much. But so AI overviews spotted for local. That just means more is coming probably, and especially in AI mode or ChatGPT or any of the, like we've been talking about for the last forever, it seems like now, the AI world is coming. And when people ask AI who the best realtor is, it's not just going to look at Google and whoever's Google business profile is the best. It's going to start looking at more things, the Zillow, like we talked about last week, the Zillow, the Yelp, which it's always mentioning. And I'm now feeling compelled to get more reviews on my Yelp, but we can't request. You're not allowed to request reviews on Yelp. Their whole algorithm and computer is set up to spot reviews that were asked for, requested. How they could tell if it was worded correctly, probably couldn't. But anyway, I feel compelled to get some reviews on Yelp and Zillow, like we talked about last week. Zillow is a big deal, and they probably have to be recent too, because I had a bunch on Zillow, not a ton. I feel like I have like 40 on there maybe or something, because that was where I was getting reviews. And then when Google Business Profile became a thing, I started getting them there and didn't get any on Zillow. But now I feel like, well, I got some on Zillow, so I look pretty good, but I don't have any recent if it's looking at recency, because the AI is definitely looking at sales and active listings, as we learned last week. AI is definitely, it was referencing this person has active listings on the market right now, in addition to has sold a lot in that area specifically that you're talking about. So these AI overviews being spotted for local searches are a big deal, because once they start actually giving an answer, like ChatGPT did, like here it didn't give an answer. It just gave some blanket general answer and then said use Google and Yelp to go find an actual business. It didn't give any businesses, but once it starts doing that, it's going to be the same as ChatGPT, like we saw last week. Yada yada. And again, when it gets to that level of the AI agent doing searches for us, we're not going to any of the crap. We're just saying, hey Bobby, or whatever the name of your AI agent is, who should we get to sell the house? Who do we use last time, and do you think we should use them again? Or if there's someone else we should use, maybe see who else we could call in to see if they want to have a stab at it or whatever, because you're going to talk to this thing like a person and ask it long-winded things like that, and then it's going to go out and figure that out. And it's not just, like I said, going to go, hey, this person has lots of reviews on the Facebook business page, use them, or Google or Zillow. It's going to look at all the stuff and what is current and active and happening right now. And did those 1,000 reviews happen yesterday and they're still getting them, or was that 5 years ago and they haven't gotten one since? So AI overviews being spotted for local is a big deal. And that is all I have, and looks like we're almost at 10 o'clock, so that's perfect. Does anybody have any questions or anything unrelated? If not, I'll let you all get back to your wonderful Wednesday hump day. I feel like I forgot something, but that's all right. I got my Insta360 link camera written down from Kristen, and I think I got everything in. So sweet. All right. Well, thanks for everybody for being here, and we will see you next week for another round. Later.
Hey,
Thanks,
Derek,
Derek.
quick
Have a great
question.
day.
Can I ask you a quick question, Derek?
Yeah, go for it.
Yes. So
If you had a brand new Apple desktop computer, do you think you'd still need a camera for the filming that you're referring to?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because you mean like it has it in the screen, the little dot like an iPad has?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the computers, like all computers have, is the little camera on the top in the middle, right? The little round thing that you can barely see, right?
On a laptop they do. If you had a desktop,
Yeah, on the
depends what
desktop.
what monitor. Maybe
The,
Apple's do.
it's the brand new Apple, and it
Gotcha.
has it. All the Apples have had them. Because I've been Skyping. Did you know they put Skype to bed? It's dead.
It was about time.
20, but you know what? Only 22 years. That was a good little gauge because, anyway, I was using Skype since the beginning because a lot of my clients were out of Istanbul. But in any event, back to the camera thing. So on all my Apple desktops, there's a camera. That's what I see.
Yeah.
My Zooms, so, or whatever else, I guess. Zoom. That's all I've seen with it. So you think a camera, if I was ever going to do YouTube?
It depends how. I mean, yeah. Ultimately, you got to have the flexibility to be able to move the camera or change the
Oh,
angle or farther away or like all the things. Like that would
yeah.
suffice probably for meetings and all that kind of stuff. Also,
Oh,
depends how good it is. Is it the same camera that's on the newest best iPhone? That's probably a pretty decent camera. Or if it had like the 5 camera lenses on there,
I don't
it
know.
could be
It's
pretty
just
decent.
I don't know. It's a brand new Apple. It's pretty, but it's as decent as they make. Put it that way.
Yeah, yeah, and obviously the in true Apple form, they kind of. I think you have to. Well, some of theirs, the computer is the screen, right? Some of the models, like the
Oh,
computer, the screen is the
oh.
computer. But then some are desktop plus screen, but it's always an Apple monitor, right? You can't get a non-Apple monitor for an
Yeah. I
Apple
don't. We
computer, right?
with my computers, they do have the new ones that they're separate, but the machine is in the computer. You're right.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
no
yeah.
separate monitor on any of
Right.
mine that I've had. But now they have those really cool new. Um, you've seen them. I would think I know that you're a big Apple fan and all. The ones that stand. They're really cool. You'll have to check it out on the website if you haven't seen them, Derek. They are pretty space oddity.
Yeah, they're high in line
Uh huh.
for designers and video editing and all that. Their desktop stuff is sick.
Yeah. Okay, so then that's what you and Kristen were talking about, getting a little camera.
Yep.
Yeah, and you said you landed on the what one you were liking? Sounded good.
Insta 36. Well, this is what Kristen uses. Insta 360 link. I'm putting it in the
Insta.
chat.
Oh,
The link
awesome.
for it's not in the chat, but the name of
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is.
Insta 360 link. Okay.
And I've seen her. I see her. I'll see her today, maybe. I see her on video, and she puts out content, obviously too. But her camera, it does look good, particularly like you. I've noticed that. Oh, that's nice.
Oh,
Very
uh-huh.
nice.
So it's Derek approved. That's important. That's very
Yeah,
important.
it's crystal clear, and however it
Uh-huh.
processes it is very nice. The whole thing is
Okay.
very.
I like that you can move it around. That sounded like a nice aspect of it, huh?
Yeah, because you might not want it. You might want your if you got bad eye, like my screen is close to my face, but I don't necessarily want my camera right up in my grill, or I might want it offset to the side at an angle or something,
Oh
or maybe
yeah.
multiple cameras. You could switch cameras, and yeah, just a
Oh, I
camera would be
see.
more
Yeah,
versatile.
because right, sometimes some little some I guess YouTubes, I'll call them for lack of better knowing what it was. Um, they have the camera looking and like she's looking sideways. I think I've saw Glenda with a few of these, like she's not looking at the camera.
Yep.
She's looking sideways. And oh, okay, so podcasts. There we go. So this would be what you'd want for a podcast? No, that's different.
If
Oh,
you're
that
gonna
go
do
down. I'm sorry, Derek. It's closing time. We
if you
can
were gonna
wrap
do
it
it
up.
live on StreamYard, yeah, you would use that same camera, your webcam, unless you were gonna get unless you were having like 2 seats with guests like that kind of podcast, then
Uh-huh.
that would be a whole different camera and setup and lights and yada yada. But
Okay.
yeah, I think to start, you just get a good webcam, so to speak, or I don't know if the Insta360 link is an quote unquote webcam, but it's kind of built for that, or it's not a complicated, crazy, expensive camera that Juan would have set up in front of him.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we can carry this conversation on next week or in a later room or something. But thanks so much, Derek. It was great stuff
Hey,
today.
Cindy, I'll just
Appreciate
add
you.
real quick that I'm pretty sure it came with like a tripod too. So while I
Oh,
mainly exclusively use mine as a webcam, you could use it kind of, make it portable and take it
oh,
places and just post it on a tripod too.
oh. Okay. Thanks, Kristen.
You're very welcome.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's really functional.
Huh. So it actually, yeah. So it's kind of like a little GoPro kind of.
Exactly.
Is it 360? Does it do 360 degrees, or is that just doesn't have anything to do with it?
Okay, I'm only guessing here because I haven't tried it out, but I feel like that is true because it's on a swivel. Have not tried it out because I don't use it on a tripod, although I did have intentions when I first bought it to try it out. But it is on a swivel, so I think that that's probably true.
Oh, so I'm guessing I should just look it up. I could type it in right now, but I'm not gonna. I'm guessing the 360 is. See, you said it will try. It follows you or like your motion.
Yeah,
So I'm guessing when you put it on the tripod and it's following you, it's moving. It has like a motor in it.
yeah, it must. I mean, you're getting
Yeah. So it's
over my
physically
pay grade
following
here.
you. Yeah, it's not like if it had lenses on both sides, like a fisheye lens on both sides of the camera, that would be like a 360-degree camera. It's not that, I don't
Gotcha.
think.
No, it literally moves. Yes.
Gotcha. That's where the 360 comes in. Yeah, I like that. And more importantly, like I said, the picture looks good, and I think it automatically looks good. I don't think Kristen went into some complicated software to change hues and do all the things. It probably hopefully just works out of the box and looks good.
You are guessing correctly. It's out of the box, completely on its own, and it is very crisp.
Sweet. Just the way we like it. Awesome. All right. 10:01. I guess we'll get up out of here. Thanks for everybody for being here, and see you 7 days from now. Tomorrow morning, too. Tonight, maybe. Hit up the room. Real Estate from the Heart, 5 p.m. I don't think there was a room yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe there will be one tonight. See you there if there is one. Later.
Thanks, Derek.